Glasshouse. Two cricket tragics.
Hey John, in those photos of Shane Warne with those two pommy scrubbers, what did you think of his Playboy underpants?
That was stylish.
G'day folks, welcome to the Glasshouse, the program that asks the question, when John Howard has dinner with President Bush tonight, will he be allowed to sit at the big table? Or will he have to eat at the kids' table with all the other little countries? More news than a coalition of the kissing this week. John and George celebrated their love by planting a tree at the Australian Embassy in Washington. Wouldn't be the first time these two have got wood together. Jeanette and Laura took a magnolia seedling and planted it. Then Johnny and George took a clipping from an elm and planted it. Then Howard accidentally spilled his seed and planted it. Which is how we get garden gnomes. The government has decided not to run another round of the Work Choices ads after discovering it had the effect of rubbing people's noses in it. And you don't want your nose anywhere near shit like that. It's also because since the new IR laws, no one in the government can see the words work and choice together without pissing themselves laughing. The best thing is, now they're not doing the campaign, they can sack more people. 10 days after the event, Beck and Leighton are still copping it for taking their 5-month-old baby on stage at the Logies. And I agree, fancy subjecting a child that age to the horror of Joan Rivers' face close up. Although, to be fair, by the time the Logies were over, the kid was old enough to drive them home. But it wasn't so much taking baby Mia on stage as when Leighton fumbled his presentation and threw her on the floor shouting, "Come on!" Congrats!
News from Canberra, capital Will. 10 events giving you the chance to spend some quality time with your favourite politician are being auctioned on eBay to raise money for charity. So you're spending good money to get politicians to pay attention to you. Isn't that what voting is for? You can go shopping with Julia Gillard, join John Howard for his annual cricket match, or have Bob Brown show you around Tasmania's Styx Valley. Or, if you're feeling really adventurous, spend the evening in Philip Ruddock's crypt. Cricket with the PM. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Bodyline. Might kill him, but it's how he'd want to go. You can also bid on an event with Simon Crean, Alexander Downer, John Anderson and Natasha Stott Despoja, the political equivalent of the travelling Wilburys. It's called the Political Intercourse Dinner. Weird, isn't it? I thought politicians usually screwed us for free. And Peter Garrett is going to take 2 lucky winners to an Oz Rock reunion gig. Just give him plenty of room in the mosh pit.
Bloody angry, I'm angry.
Oh, no.
Angry. I've just found out that more Australians now use foreign ATMs than non-foreign ATMs. Apparently it's more convenient. How's it more convenient to fly to India to use an ATM? Obviously, I made a mistake there. Foreign ATM means an ATM of the bank that you're not with, all right? And it costs extra. Costs extra when you cheat, apparently. Warnie, you know that, don't you? Seriously, but the banks love it when people use their ATMs when they're not with them. They love it. You know, the ATMs are like prostitutes on the road, you know? They're on street corners going, come on, touch me. You know I'm easy, you know you want to. It costs up to $2 extra. One bank charges $2 for its non-customers to use their ATMs. I won't say which bank. Actually, it's Westpac, actually, but seriously, and what's the $2 for? They say it's for upkeep of the ATMs. I suppose fair enough. I mean, you have to stack them full of cash all the time, don't you? That costs money. Ah, it's rubbish. I'm not happy about it. Seriously, it's bloody rubbish. My father has never used an ATM, and I thought all these years he was a technological retard. He's the smartest man I've ever met, isn't he? I mean, I don't use ATMs myself because I've got a stack of cash at home. Because I'm a drug dealer. That's a joke. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm not.
All right, let's get to it. Joining me, Corinne and Dave, to throw some stones in the Glasshouse tonight, TV star, radio star, damn funny bloke, Lawrence Mooney! And journo, author, friend of the stork, Julia Baird. All right, movers and shakers. First up, an international survey of retirees has found people in different countries like to spend their retirements in very different ways. Most retiring men said they were hoping to be put out to stud, and most retiring women said they were hoping their husbands would die soon so they could finally enjoy themselves. Do something for yourself while you still can, people. No one wants to see a 70-year-old guitarist duck walk across the stage, although there may be a vacancy coming up in the Rolling Stones. Dave, you're not getting any younger. Have you got any plans for retirement?
I don't think I could ever stop being funny. I'd love to sleep in, though, I must say. I mean, I'm missing some... oh, God. Every night at 11 o'clock, if I could just stay awake and watch Big Brother up late, I'd be a happy man, I'm sure.
When you get old, you jump into bed or you hitch a caravan to the back of your car and go and block up traffic. They should be made to keep working, old people. There you go.
This political message by the Howard government.
Well, really and truly, it's actually a health benefit because early onset dementia is proven to, you know, come on if you...
Stop working.
Why am I here? No, if you stop working and you're inactive, then you go cuckoo and you go down to the supermarket and stick biscuits down your pants.
But it's not just dementia, is it? Because there's a lot of research which shows that when people do stop working, they are more likely to die or...
Yeah, have heart attacks.
Yeah.
And that's bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I can afford to retire. Like, I mean, I look at my life and I just think, I've got no super. I'm thinking about, like, taking up smoking because for $10 a week, I can guarantee I don't have to have money after 65.
Yeah.
I mean, the pension is a super. I mean, the super's a con.
Oh, the pension's at least $3 a week, too.
Well,
Yeah, but what are you going to do? You don't need money when you're old.
No,
Just
you can live off Cruskets for the rest of your life. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have rich children.
Right.
Oh.
They're going to look after me. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to happen
You're gonna
yet.
have to
I'm just
have
going to
children.
make them... Oh, that part's easy, I'm sure, isn't it, Julie?
Oh,
You need to start soon, Corinne, don't you, really?
Shut up!
I mean, you're still a young woman, don't get me wrong.
Absolutely.
But,
What he meant by that was...
I mean...
What did you mean by
I mean,
that?
you're now... It's fair to say that you're 30, is that fair to say?
You could even say I was 32. And don't make a joke about this. I used to date a guy who did one night, apropos of nothing, turn around and go, you know you're getting on a bit, and if you can't find anyone, I'll give you a baby.
Nice offer.
What I'm going to do is, what I'm going to do now is, because you've got to invest, that's the thing, to have money afterwards. I'm going to buy a litre of petrol now. By the time I'm 65, I'll be able to buy a gold house.
That's a great idea.
Or if petrol's no longer being used in cars, you can drink it and just have a great time in your old age.
No, it's too expensive to drink, basically, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Actually, it's top shelf. It's like Grange now.
Yeah,
petrol.
Our next movers and shakers come from Canberra, where our world-class federal politicians have decided that childcare is the next big battleground for the hearts and minds of Australian voters. Under Peter Costello's free market plan, anywhere could become a childcare centre. Some of the new facilities include Pepsi Care, McChildcare and Kentucky Fried Children. Although that last lot should probably look at changing their mission statement. Kim Beazley promised the Labor government would create 260 new centres and give all kids high-speed broadband access. But then they won't need childcare. Just plonk them in front of the computer before you go to work and those nice, friendly men in the chat rooms can look after them. classy. Julia, you have a bundle of joy on the way. Is it that hard to get childcare right?
No, it's not that hard. You just have to basically give it resources and try to work out what the problem is. You know, I've always thought Peter Costello is a very intelligent man. So when he asked us all to have one for the country, I did. Being a good Aussie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, it just kicked.
Oh, right, you've got a patriotic baby. You just said, I've done that for the country, and he went, ah!
Yeah, there was a bit of a punch then. But,
Well,
you know,
have
but
you
it's payback time.
Have you spent your baby bonus yet or not?
No.
Is there still a baby bonus there?
I don't think you get it until, well, you have to have it.
It's $3 grand.
You can't get it early?
It's going up to $4 grand this year.
Is it?
$4 grand.
Really? Out?
When did you?
Yeah, we might just cut loose with that one, I think, yeah.
Are you going to make the $4 grand cut off or what? Can you keep it there for a bit longer or not?
Yes, it's July, so unless
July.
it's very premature,
Oh, wow, that's cool.
it's all good.
That's good, because
Yeah.
it would be tough if you had to sticky tape yourself up just for the cash.
Yeah.
Probably, you earn your $3 grand though, don't you, I imagine? Growing a baby wouldn't be the easiest thing in the world to do.
Well, I think actually childbirth...
Growing a baby.
Well, that's what you do. It doesn't grow itself.
It kind of does.
Yeah, but you've got to be there.
But what is it with the government? You wrote an interesting article about this. This is a government that was encouraging everyone to have kids,
Yeah.
but doesn't seem to, like, once
Deliver.
you have them, it's your business.
Yeah, that's right. That's the ironic position. They're like, go on, do it for the country. And, you know, there's this whole patriotic fervour about it. But then, you know, what happens when you actually get to the other end? The childcare thing is just an absolute joke.
What
It's
is wrong
such
with
a
the
mess.
childcare? What, in layman's terms, what there's just not enough places?
In long daycare.
So for people who work full time.
That's
yeah?
right.
Yeah.
And that's where there's a real shortage.
Yeah.
That's where there's waiting lists everywhere, and there's, you know, you can apply for a rebate, but you don't get it for 18 months after you've actually paid for it. There's not enough incentives for business. There's basically just this real problem with supply and demand, and the government hasn't got any agency which has sat down and tried to work out where the problem is.
Yeah.
Julia, am I
And
wrong in
that's the-
saying, like, what we've talked about tonight is we have all these old people with nothing to do, and we all have all these kids with no one to look after
Right.
them.
There we go.
Surely 2 birds, 1 stone, and they could share nappies.
Yeah.
So it's is that not?
That's true.
I think to get childcare, all the kiddies should be lined up. You put all the toddlers in a row, and only the pretty ones get to be looked after. And the rest are left to fend for themselves. Yeah, they fight it out.
I wouldn't be sitting here right now, would I?
That's not true.
The pretty ones and the funny ones.
Tick 2 boxes there for me.
Our favourite movers and shakers this week are the hero miners of Beaconsfield, who are looking at a huge payday for the exclusive rights to their story. These guys have discovered a way to get famous in Tasmania that doesn't involve rooting a Danish prince. Oh, come on, you don't know her. David Koch is currently going through the paperwork so he can be legally adopted as Todd Russell's son. Oh, Koshy. The rescue made news in America too, although the Yanks couldn't work out why we didn't get one of those spinning Tasmanian devils to do the drilling. But do they tell their stories together or individually? If I was them, I'd sell them individually, then tell 2 completely different versions. We could have got out sooner, but Brant didn't want to take the stairs. Yeah, it all went wrong after Todd started chasing a hobbit. Lawrence, you've been down a few dark holes. What would you like? What would you like the miners to get?
I think that they should get at least as much as Douglas would, probably less than the guy that survived in the Himalayas on a Mars bar, and a bit more than Lindy Chamberlain. No offence, Lindy. It's just an old story now. But
And you've got to take inflation into consideration
You do.
as well.
That excited me when I saw David Koch jump in that ambulance. I was
Right.
actually watching Media Watch the other night, which is a great show, ABC. Check it out Monday nights. And they showed an American report that obviously didn't know Kochie, and you know how intrusive their media is. Even
Yeah.
they assumed that he was a lifelong friend.
Yeah.
Like
and
somebody.
he feels like a lifelong friend, doesn't he, Koshy? He's shiny and happy.
He is though. Koshy is, and I love Koshy to death, but he is quintessentially your dodgy uncle. You know?
Oh, what was he doing in the back of the ambulance?
Do you mean like, you know, he's just got that, like, you be at your barbecue with an apron with boobs on it, you know, one of his nuts hanging out of his shorts, you know.
But I believe the guys...
That's what he's like.
One of his nuts. I believe the guys are going to do very well. Brant Webb and Todd Russell have signed a deal with Dr. Zeus to write a new book called He Shat in My Hat. It's a big hat. It's a big hat.
Well, that was true. That was the big part of the story, wasn't he? That, like...
Apparently.
One of them, I can't remember which
The one who did poo was pooing in his hat.
One of them did poo twice.
Do you reckon
in the hat,
that'll
and
be in the
one,
movie?
Well,
the other one didn't do poo for 14 days. Like, yeah, that's the real story, isn't it? That is 14 days holding on. That's...
Really? That's polite.
There was a part of it was good. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's a small town, and they had media. I mean, the mayor must have been going, "Oh, come on, stay down there. We've got Naomi Robson in town, you know." And she was staying at a caravan park too, which is, you know, probably where she belongs, basically.
Naomi Robson was the only member of the entire media, because the Miners, I think, came out on a Monday morning.
Yeah.
Naomi Robson was the only member of that entire media pack who went back to Melbourne on the Sunday night for the Logies. Yeah, she obviously went, oh, there's a bigger disaster I've got to attend to.
If they hadn't got through to the Tuesday, I think they were going to have dancing with the trapped miners. They were going to send Grant Denyer down the PVC pipe. Because he could fit, because he's tiny.
But everyone's bagging them out for this, for being pursued by the media now. Like, there's been a real turn in the last week
Yeah,
of,
why
like,
are we
how much
turning on
money
them?
they're
I don't think we should be turning on them.
But don't you reckon a lot of this confusion is about what we actually want from our heroes? You know, when they were down there, it was like, these are ordinary people, you know, doing extraordinary things and surviving in this, and we're excited by the fact, you know, that everyone was joking about they needed deodorant and they wanted to come out and have eggs and bacon, and it was just really, they were good Aussie blokes, you know, it came out. And now, to say, yeah, would you want a few $1 million to talk about your ordeal? What kind of ordinary bloke would say, nah?
No, yeah, it's great. I reckon they should get, like, make a movie, you know, cast, you know, Eric Banner and Russell Crowe as the Miners. And,
I want to see Eric Banner crapping in a hat. I was fascinated by the article that was about 5 or 6 paragraphs long, talking about nothing apart from the fact that this was shown on American television. Like, that was the whole article. Why?
We get so excited when they notice us overseas.
Oh, my God, America knows who... Do you think America does that? Do you think they go, hey, everybody, Austria knows who we are?
My question is, if Triple M made them the right offer, do you think the Miners would go on the cage?
Later in the Glasshouse, after decades in politics, Kim Beazley finally makes a speech which doesn't contain words only he understands.
We Australians just witnessed a rolled gold miracle.
First pictures of Dave Hughes and Jason Byrne's new babies. And John Howard finally makes the American president understand where Australia is.
I think you've got it now. By George, you've got it.
In New York City, a man has admitted trying to fondle, kiss and lick the legs and toes of more than 70 women on the subway. He said his aim was to make them laugh and smile and open to talk to me. But how do you lick someone's toes on a train? Whoops, I've dropped my ticket.
What is wrong with what that man did? He's just reaching out and touching someone. I mean, sure, kiss and fondle, licking's a little bit wrong.
Really?
Just a little bit. Especially if those toes are in pantyhose, because that feels weird.
Yeah, no, you're right, Laurie. That is the weird bit.
Yeah, I mean, all men, we've all thought about doing stuff on trains, though. We have, seriously.
What?
What have you
Oh, well, when you're a single man, you fall in love every time you get on a train, even if it's just you and the driver, you know?
Isn't that James Blunt's song, You're Beautiful, about him sitting on a train
Yeah, absolutely.
fantasising about a...
And never being able to meet that person and make a connection with them. And I think this young man
is... It's a very effective way to do it.
Yeah.
If only James Blunt had put his, like that woman's toes in his mouth, it would have been great because he would have met her and he would have stopped singing. Two birds.
Have you girls...
One stone.
Have you girls...
You're in the perfect position to get conked in their head.
Did you actually get some skin there? Or?
Yeah.
Well, how did it feel, Corinne, apart from the shock and the horror of it? Was there any joy for you?
What? No.
I got a bit of corn.
In Britain, the makers of Stilton, the world's most famous blue cheese, say they've been able to capture its smell and recreate it in what is an unusual but highly wearable perfume. But it'll have some stiff competition from the big scent makers like Chanel No. 2s. And Tommy Hilfiger's Pull My Finger.
I think, you know, that I like the smell of blue cheese, but it does smell like a runner when you don't wear socks. And you're just going to attract the bloke from the last story. Get a bit of foot on. He won't know where to go. Your face smells like a foot.
That could be an improvement. That could be part of his therapy.
Get off the floor. Come on, smell this.
It's all wrong, isn't it? If someone smells like cheese, it normally means they haven't showered in quite some time, doesn't it?
I've heard that we smell like cheese.
You don't smell like...
No.
There is a
I've
faint
heard
odour there, but...
that to people not of a Western culture, we smell like cheese because we eat too much dairy. I've heard... Has anyone ever heard that?
I've heard that... I just read recently that dairy's not good as a man to eat. If it's just not good.
As a man to eat it?
Yes, if you want the affections of the other people, don't eat so much cheese or dairy because they, yeah.
What
know
about...
what I mean?
I need to know. What do they do?
If
No,
you
you're
want...
circling around it.
Yeah,
Just
I know, because it's
spit it
quite
out.
rude.
In what would, like, it's...
Well, there's a taste problem. Yeah, all right? You wanted me to go there.
Maybe you should eat the cheese and not stick it down your underpants.
Now you learn.
Don't be stupid. I like the smell of goanna oil.
Yeah. Is that a footy club room thing?
It's a footy club room thing. It's man being nude.
That's a great ad for the fragrance. Goanna oil. It's men being nude.
Come over here, old Keithy, rub some on me, mate.
In Rome, a cardinal who was a candidate for Pope last year has called for legal action against the Da Vinci Code movie, saying Christians must not just sit back and say it's enough for us to forgive and forget. Yeah, he must have a different version of the Bible to the one I've got. Other cardinals say it's no use beating yourself up about it, although it is a lot of fun. Come on, it's only a movie. If Jesus were alive today, I reckon he might go and see it. Might even take the kids.
Well, I'm a Catholic, and I've got to say, I think that Catholics should stand up and take action, get out in the streets and really go for it, because the casting of Tom Hanks as Robert Langdon is just appalling.
Yes. I would agree with you.
Run, Forrest, run! It's Leonardo da Vinci.
The thing I love about the Da Vinci Code is because it talks about the fact that women were totally wiped out by the church and by the early church. So all the stuff that they did, they kind of discounted. Yeah. You know, they wrote off Mary as, you know, a slurry, really. Well, and they wrote her off as a virgin. They said she was a prostitute, Mary Magdalene.
Oh, Mary Magdalene, sorry.
Yeah. Wrong one.
Yeah, all right. You don't want to make that mistake, really, do you?
And the whole book is all ripped off from a book I wrote called the Kendone Code. And you examine the tea towels of Kendone and you found out all this shit. Yes, it's time to award the coveted Glasshouse trophy, which this week is called... of the Zsa Zsa Gabor Memorial Embalming Fluid and Coke is a group of builders in Hungary who got a nasty surprise after drinking a huge barrel of rum in a house they were renovating. When they got to the bottom, a pickled corpse fell out. The man's body had been shipped back from Jamaica in the barrel 20 years ago by his wife to save money. It turned out to be the world's first Jamaican rum to actually contain a Jamaican. So the trophy goes to the Hungarian rum-drinking bodybuilders. They were just glad it wasn't tequila. When you get to the bottom, you have to eat the worm. Well, that's the way it is for Wednesday, May the 17th. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Lawrence.
Thanks, Will.
Don't forget, all you animal lovers, the RSPCA's Million Paws March is on this Sunday. Take your dog, take your ferret, take your Komodo dragon. And let's take a look at tomorrow's headlines. According to the West Australian, Kim Beazley wants to face Howard, not Costello, at the next election. Rather be beaten by someone he has no chance against. In the Courier Mail, John Howard says US trip is not junket, just a little whipped cream on the nipples. From The Age, Simone Warne reverts to maiden name. Confused Shane asks her out. And the Sydney Morning Herald has Beaconsfield Rescue lifts sagging ratings. 9 to stick Eddie down mine shaft. Good night.
Hello, Robbie Buck from Triple J's Top Shelf, inviting you to come and hang out each afternoon.